Hi, I'm Melissa Kraftcheck, and I'm an independent consultant with Jamberry Nails. And tonight I'm going to show you how to apply Jamberry nail wraps. So I've already done one, but what I have here is a half sheet of Jamberry nail wraps. This is shaved ice, one of our new patterns for the spring and summer. And I also have a buffer, a rough nail file, an orange stick, isopropyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol, nail scissors, nail clippers, which I'm probably not going to need, and I have a rubber cuticle pusher. Now this little thing is awesome and makes it much easier to apply, but if you don't have one, that's okay. You can use an orange stick, you can use your finger to apply pressure. I also have a mini heater. You can use a hairdryer as well. I generally suggest setting up somewhere that you don't have to hold on to it and just put it on low. I like the mini heater better because it's quiet and portable. But in any case, we're pretty much set. I also have some cotton. So the first step is going to be to grab your orange stick, and you're going to push back your cuticles gently. Don't really hurt yourself or anything. And you're going to make sure that there's no invisible cuticle that has grown up onto your nail. So you might need to scrape that off, especially if you haven't done anything like this recently. I've already done this already, so I'm just going to double check there. If you have a lot of cuticle on your nail, or you've really never pushed your cuticles back, cuticle remover is a great idea. Jamberry has a cuticle remover pen. You can just twist it up, brush it on, leave it for a little bit of time. I think it's just a few seconds, and use an orange stick to push it back. Then you would rinse it off. So I have pushed back my cuticles, and I have also washed my hands with a soap that's not a moisturizing soap. The next step is to grab cotton, get your rubbing alcohol, and again, this is isopropyl alcohol, it's not acetone. And the purpose of using this is to just remove any oils that are on the surface of your nails, make sure that they're really clean to make a good bonding surface. So once I've done that, I'm going to take your sheet of wraps, and I've already used the smallest wrap for my pinky, and I'm going to go for my ring finger, and I know from experience that my ring finger, this third wrap, fits really well. You're going to select a wrap that will cover your whole nail except for a little gap all the way around, because the wrap will not bond well if it overlaps on skin or cuticle. So I'm going to use this wrap right here. Okay, so you can cut your whole sheet in half if you want. If you want to try to save the middle, you can trim that way. It just depends on the length of your nail and what you're aiming to get out of your sheet. I generally just stick the scissors underneath the center of the wrap and snip. Now, generally you want to use something like an orange stick to take the wrap off, because that way you don't have to handle it, you won't get oil on the wrap. However, if your nails are short enough, and as long as you're careful not to touch an area that is going to be bonded to your nails, you can use your fingers. And I am going to do that right now, because I've done this quite a few times. So go ahead and turn on your heater, your hairdryer. Your hairdryer, you're probably going to be holding it farther away so the wrap is not flying away in the breeze. But heat it up about 3 to 5 seconds till it softens. You'll usually start to see them curling. Some curl more than others, and some curl in different directions, but anyhow, soften it up. And then you're going to place it. You're going to center it on your finger, and you're going to place it just below your cuticle, and then just kind of tug a little bit and flatten it out and stretch. And go from the base of your cuticle right up to the top of your nail, and really smooth out the top like a T shape, so the base and then up at the top, to make sure there are no wrinkles or bumps. Once you've done that, then go ahead and smooth the sides down. Okay, so then what I do is heat it up again for a few seconds, especially if you're new doing this, because by the time you've gotten it placed, it may not be warm anymore. Anyhow, heat it up, and you're going to take your cuticle pusher, and you're actually just going to really smooth it out. So really push down on those edges to get that seal. Smooth down the tip, make sure there are no bumps. Once that's firmly on there, you're going to grab your scissors and just trim off some excess. This is not a critical step, and it doesn't have to be neat. You're just trying to take a little extra off so it's not sticking on your finger. Next thing you're going to do is use your rough nail file, and you're going to use the edge of your nail to actually file off the excess. Now if your nails are too short, you can use clippers, and you're just going to clip a bit of the wrap with some of your nail. But I have long enough nails now because of Jamberry. I don't bite anymore. I'm just going to file off the excess. And you're basically doing about 90 degrees. If you go to too much of an angle, you're going to start filing off the pattern. So just do it until it's coming off. If you need to get under the edge, that's fine. Just always go down so you're not lifting the wrap as you go. And then it will basically just peel right off. Now it's pretty much done. Heat it a couple more seconds, and then either use your cuticle pusher or just your finger, your thumb, to really make sure that tip is sealed all the way around. And then I grab a buffer and I just lightly buff the edge just to knock off any rough edges. You want to make it feel really nice and make sure there's nothing that's going to catch. And then you're done. So it's really quite easy. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of a gap on either side, and that is fine. You don't want it to be pushing up against your cuticle. You don't want it overlapping. And if you go to a salon and you see when they paint your nails, there's generally a gap on the side because it looks nicer, it's neater, and no one is going to notice that. So that's what you want, that little bit of space. All right, so I'm done. Basically, I'm just going to repeat this on all my other nails, and that's it. Now, say you put on a wrap and you find out after you've pressed it down, it's just a little bit too big. Well, there are a couple of options. If you've already pressed it down, you can peel up the edge, and my favorite thing to do is take a nail clipper, generally not a tiny one like this, but just peel up the edge and just clip it off. Make sure you don't turn the clipper into the nail or you'll cut the wrap too much, but you can just clip it off. Heat it, smooth it back down. If you find you have left a little bit too much here and you've caught it, you can basically file or heat it, press it down, file it off a little bit more. But there are things you can do. So don't despair if the first time you try this it's not perfect. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but soon you'll get it and it'll get faster and faster, and you're just going to absolutely love your nails. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped.